So someone wrote to me and asked me if I thought that Thrive Themes was buggy, and the answer is no. Apparently, someone told him that Thrive Themes is buggy. I can understand for some people it can be. Very often, hosting is an issue. So if people have bad hosting, subpar hosting, for me it's not bad, but if it's subpar, if it's you know hosting where they use very old equipment and servers and infrastructure, yeah, it will be a problem. GoDaddy hosting is one that I've decided to refuse to work on with clients with GoDaddy hosting because you know it will crash the website, things will happen, software doesn't update, it doesn't install. There is just a quantity of problem and the slowness of using the editor there. It's a problem. So that's a big one. Hosting, get proper hosting. I use SiteGround and I've been very happy for the last 10 years. And with Thrive Architect, the theme builder, no issues there. The other thing is the quantity of plugins. So if you have more than the essentials, so for me, the plugins that I have are the Thrive Themes plugin that I will need. So if I need Thrive Architect, Thrive Leads, and Ultimatum, I install those three, and then the Thrive Theme Builder as a theme. So I don't go and install, all of the plugins. I install what I need, and I use Yoast for SEO for most of my sites and my client site because that was recommended, still recommended by Thrive Teams. So we know that because at least it's been recommended in the past, it was the official plugin that they suggested because it's one of the most common one. So we know if there's an issue, they will work with, they will address it because it's a plugin that they know. There are other SEO plugins out there, newer ones, maybe they have other features, but for me, what I want is that the plugins that I use is something that Thrive Teams knows about, and that if there's a technical issue, which does happen once in a while, when there are multiple plugins on the same site, that they can address it as fast as possible. So that's my approach. I use a security plugin, and then I use a caching plugin from SiteGround, and I've been very happy with that. The other thing that when people are complaining if something is buggy, very often is that they're new with the tools and they're in the learning curve of learning a new tool. And when you learn, yes, you will use all sort of I've seen very creative way of doing all sort of things. Like the example I like to give is when people want to center something on a page, there are probably 10 ways of centering something within Thrive. And if you don't use the right way, then if you center multiple things and then you drag and drop and you do multiple columns and you do a layout and you don't use really the ideal way of centering something on a page, then you go on mobile and it's not really centered there and it's not aligned and there's something missing. So that's normal, and for me that's the learning curve of how to use the tools properly. I mean, I personally have looked at all the tutorials from Thrive Themes for the last 5 years, and I use the tools every day, so I know how to use the tools. So that's a benefit, and I went through this learning curve to learn how to use the tools properly. My suggestion, if you're starting, is create a test page, and then when you try new elements or new features, do it on the test page. Practice and drag an element on the page, and then have a look immediately on tablet and on mobile. See if the padding is right, and try to learn how the responsiveness of the tool, of each of the elements of the tools work by dragging something, putting it in multiple columns, and looking at the effect of. So if you change a padding, let's say the upper padding of a box, then have a look on tablet, have a look on mobile, and see what the effect is. So you learn, okay, if I adjust the left padding, that's what happened on tablet, and that's what happened on mobile. Then you can find patterns on the best way to use a tool. So for me, those are really the three reasons why some people might have more problems than other. For me, it may be once a week or maybe once a week, and I use the tools like I'm always in Thrive. The tools from Thrive Teams. Sometimes something won't drag, and what I do is I just refresh the page, and then I just try again to redrag an element, and it works. So So once in a while, you might have to do that. And if you're in learning mode, then yeah, you might have to do that more often. For me, I save a lot. So as soon as I do something, I'm happy with it, I save. So if ever I drag something and it doesn't work, then I've recently saved and then just refresh the page, and I've been, I mean, that's been my way of doing web design for a long time now. So that's my take on that. So it's not buggy if you use the tools properly, if you use proper hosting, and if you spend the time to learn about the tools. If you have any questions, please leave it below.